Furious Driving, proud to be supported by Diamond Bright, protecting, cleaning and caring for the Furious fleet and for yours, with 10% off using code FD10. Follow the links in the description below. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and today we're going to be revisiting an old friend, a friend who's become, well, basically a bit of furniture over the last couple of months, because this, believe it or not, isn't a hoarder's stockpile. It is actually my Mercedes W123, which has been physically stuffed into this garage a little while ago, and now is so trapped that I can't even get through the door. Basically, the problem I have with this car, as I've mentioned in a couple of videos previously, but I think a few people may have missed this, because I keep getting the same comments in the videos: when are you going to crack on with the W123? Now the answer is always the same, and the plan was, when the Rover went off to be fixed a few months ago and the W123 moved into the garage, I thought, brilliant, this thing can live inside in the dry, in the warm, I can work on it in the garage. Unfortunately, what it turned out was the Mercedes is an awful lot bigger than the Rover P6, and that meant you can't move around it. I mean, literally, the reason there's so much junk at the front of the garage is because I have to stand on tiptoes, breathe in, and squeeze past it to get down to the far end of the garage. It's actually really, really hard. So everything just winds up being piled up at the front because there's too much hassle to walk down to the far end. And that makes it even more trapped. And the idea was that I would get onto it and do the brakes, but it's not wide enough to get Jack next to it and jack it up and do the brakes. I wanted to do that welding, but it's not room to get, well, close enough or far enough away to do the welding there either. So it's been stuck. And then, of course, with the whole disaster of the Crown Victoria being stranded on axle stands for several months because of the unexpected rust in the sill area. And this was a major disaster this year, because obviously this car was meant to be a buy and enjoy car. I was hoping to be able to sort of rent it out to TV and movie and those kind of people and make some money back from its purchase, but obviously that didn't happen. I did actually have a request for about a week's worth of filming, which would have paid for the car itself, and I couldn't do it because the car's not road legal yet, and I was absolutely gutted. But there you go. Anyway, so the plan today is move the Crown Vic back, and this actually needs to be turned around so I can start on the passenger side of it, well, actually on the driver's side, it's American. Move this thing out and take a look. Well, shall I do the brakes or the welding? I don't fancy welding. I don't fancy brakes much either, but I prefer that to welding today. So let's see if we can get this thing out. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to clear this stuff off the car, fit the new battery, and then get it out, and we'll see how we go. I can already see how this is turning very much into a hub nut video, actually. I watched Ian's video of him trying to service this giant Australian Ford the other day, when basically he wound up driving around in Tuk, the Imber car. I can already see how this is going to turn into that, because while this car is facing this direction, I actually need to refit the passenger seat. Then I need to empty the garage enough to move this car backwards. Then I need to get enough stuff off the bonnet to fit the new battery I've got for it. And I can see this being a day already, so maybe this will be a day of just faffing and a slightly weird video, or maybe I'll get lots done and you'll see some actual progress on this thing. Place your bets now which way we go. I'm thinking faff. Anyway, right, okay, I'm going to quickly refit that seat, because that's going to bug me if that's not fitted properly. I'm actually looking at a bit of green stuff growing on the car though, because it's been sat for so long. I might even wash this thing. This day's just disappeared already. Now, as I'm always out and about working on location or outside here on the cars, I have headphones on all the time, either to listen to music or Audible, or to make and receive calls when I'm underneath the car, or so I can keep the music going if I'm driving a car with no radio, a broken radio, or a radio with no Bluetooth. So these Open Rock S open ear earbuds are ideal for me and my lifestyle. Not only do they have amazing sound quality from the 16.2mm drivers and tube-based technology, which I admit I don't know what that means, but it does sound very good. The battery lasts for 19 hours, 60 with the charging case. And because they're over-ear, they're comfortable for long periods, so no earbud sweat wax here, thank you very much. And despite the great sound quality, they don't block out external sounds, so you're still aware of what's going on around you. So you can hear traffic and sirens, or people walking up the drive and talking to you. Not just that, they're IPX5 waterproof, so they're fine to use outdoors for sports, running, hiking, shouting at traffic, whatever activity you want to do. And they have Bluetooth 5.3 and 4 microphones with noise cancellation AI for clear phone calls. And they're available in 2 colours, black and khaki. So check the link in the description below to find your pair. Now, back to the cars. Now this is why, when you take cars apart, you're right on the little baggies that you put stuff into, because this is now about 6 months since I took this car apart, and I was wondering which bolts went into the seats, and it's these rust-strewn lumps of, I don't know, oil rig that I need to be putting back into the car. Without that, I've been pretty baffled. Right, don't forget to reconnect the airbag connectors, otherwise the light will be on the dashboard forever. Well, the kerfuffleage has definitely been occurring because having refitted the passenger seat into this car, because obviously that was going to bug me, that's now refitted properly at last along with the seatbelt. I thought it was absolutely filthy and I couldn't live with that, so I then spent the rest of the morning washing the thing, so it does actually look nice now. It does desperately need a clay bar because I can feel the grit in the paint, but that's a job for another day. Right, let's get this thing moved at last. Now, someone did comment on a video the other day, why don't you YouTubers invest in trickle chargers? Well, guess what? I do. Most of my cars are on trickle chargers all the time. This one though, it's one of the cheap Aldi ones because I've only got so many of the nice Draper ones. It was only showing 9.9 volts though. I do like my little Lego guy in the keyring and my little Lego cup on the dashboard. Let's see if 9.9 volts is enough to trigger this thing. That'll be a no. Need to jump. Let's see if the old top Don can do the business. Oh, I have missed that noise so much. Love that sound. This engine bay needs a really good clean up. Something to look forward to doing that. Right, let's move this thing around, turn it around so it's ready to weld on the driver's side down there. Right, let's rotate this thing so I can weld the other side. Oh, it's nice to be manoeuvring this thing even, just 3-point turning it in the drive is just nice. It's nice to give the car a little bit of a warm up. This thing is such a good looking beast. I do miss driving it so much. It's just so different to anything else on the roads here in the UK. There's no other giant body on frame 5 metre long saloons. And the fact it says Police Interceptor on the back is just so cool. It's just an awesome car. Now the question people keep on asking about this thing is, how bad is this side? Well, it's bad at the beginnings and ends, the front and rear of the sill area. That's pretty awful. And that's all gone down there as well, but that's not too bad. I'm not really going to know until I've started grinding into it, but I think it's really only the front and the back, the very beginning and end, if you like. And maybe a little patch in the middle. Yeah, that's pretty gone just there. Not anywhere near as much as the other side was. So I really am hoping it's going to be a far easier job to get that sorted out, and I want to get that roof sorted out as well so that I can crack on. I did make a start on it the other day, so it's got partial roof on it, but Storm Pier is going off at the minute and the wind is just insane, so trying to manhandle single-handedly up a ladder with a 2 metre by 1 metre length of corrugated stuff, not really very safe, so that's had to go on temporary hold for a minute, which I'm pretty annoyed at because I wanted that done before Christmas. Right, where to begin with this, because we've got new and old oil down there. We've got the jacks, both of the Draper and Machine Mark big 3-ton jacks under there. Paint, welder I need to make a welding cart for, so I can roll that around because that's kind of in the way just there. Stuff that I'm using for the MX-5, stuff that I'm using for building the carport. All the hand tools that I can't be bothered to walk back down there for because there's just too tight of an access. P6 bumper, bits of P6 engine, the light I was using on the MX-5 the other night, the Mercedes' own wing, bits of welding stuff, a new bonnet for the W123 because, well, the one that's on there is mildly smooshed. Oh, so I'm falling over here. Cover that was in the W123, managed to extricate it and stick it over the Rover, then found out it was the wrong size and had to put it back in here, but couldn't get the door open wide enough to put it back into the W123. This is quite cool, an emergency windscreen that I found in my granddad's garage. I was going to talk about that in junk in the trunk, but forgot it was up there. This is the tricky bit, getting past the mirror. Tools I've started carrying back. Now, because we had to drill holes through this double skin wall, a lot of stuff was screwed to the wall before, and it's now on top of the Mercedes. Super helpful. So yes, lots of stuff in here. that I can't even get to that top shelf. I've managed to get things down off that top shelf, and now because it's so tight on the bonnet, I can't get them back up there. So once the Mercedes is moved, I can actually clear the bench and put things back onto the shelf. Now, although this was a great idea to get this car in here and out of the weather, it's really done a great job of protecting it and preserving it. Actually having it in here is a massive pain because I can't access anything. I can barely get to the toolbox. I can't get to the workbench at all. I can't get to the vise. The vise is in the furthest corner, so that's been completely useless for the last couple of months. The only thing I can really get to is this rack of hangers that I got off Temu, believe it or not, the dodgy Chinese website. It's like £3 for each of these things. Really handy, because otherwise these things don't balance. It's all my D20 Draper stuff. All of this is listed on the Amazon store, by the way. Everything from the light and the grinder to the impacts and the heat gun. Such useful stuff. Anyway, I digress. I need to get everything off the bonnet. I need to pop the bonnet and put this back in here, because for the first time, I've actually bought a dedicated actual battery for this car rather than stealing a battery from another car. It's generally had the one out of the Rover Tomcat. It's been nabbed when the car's been at home and this car's been waiting to be moved for some reason. And so yeah, it's always just nicked the same kind. It's a 075 size. So yeah, I've always just nicked the 075 out of one of the Rovers and stuck it in here, then because it's not gone anywhere, and nabbed it back again. But because I want to get this thing back and driving imminently, it's going to go into there now. Right, now, kind of foolishly, I have inadvertently clicked the bonnet shut on this thing. I've also got on top of here stuff ready to take over to the barn next time, the new number plates from the latest junk in the trunk, a compression tester for the Mini for when I go over there next time. So yeah, that is ready to be moved. That needs to, I'll stick on top of the car for now, because what else am I going to do with it? So I need to get back in there and yeah, open the bonnet, which is going to be entertaining because it means climbing through the window. Ow. Right, okay, this is going to be fun. So basically, you need to climb up on here. Through there. Dukes of Hazzard styly. Oh, damn it. Ouch. Now I'm stuck. My boots are stuck. Dukes of Hazzard, I've got the boots stuck. Damn it. Oh. Ouch. Just scraping my side off. I hope there's no spiders in there because I can't get out in a hurry. Down to the passenger side. Bonnet release pulled. Crikey, no. And back out again. Oh my word. Oh, dear me. Oh god. Over backwards, crack me head open. Right. Okay, bonnet released. Okie dokie. And there is barely, and I mean literally barely, room, oops, to pull this bonnet open past the workbench. There we go. Yeah, I don't think people realise quite how insanely tight it is in here. There we go. Workshop mode, whatever you call it. Lovely. I love that on Mercedes. You can just crank it open to pretty much vertical and actually access stuff. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky because, well, batteries are heavy. And it's a long reach. I'm going to have to get into the engine with the battery. Stand on the engine itself. Oop. Okay. Well, that was easy. So now the car, in theory, is mobile. The key is in it. One of the great advantages of a car which can't go anywhere, you can leave the key in it. Now, okay, so it's in neutral. At least on this car we know the neutral works. Got power, got lights on the dashboard. Oh, that cranks easy, doesn't it? I did put a bit of petrol in it the other day as well. It's never as easy to hope, is it? I expect all the petrol is drained all the way to the back. As I can smell a bit of petrol. Why aren't you firing, you? This is taking me back to the bad old days of this car when it was just being a big lump of pig iron on the ground. Oh my word, the colour of the light outside is amazing. Right, I need to be using the accelerator while I'm turning the key, I think. So, tripod, leg on the thing. I'm gonna need some more petrol. I need to go and put some fresh fuel in this thing because it ain't going no place with the gasoline that's in it. I think probably it's just gone stale in the fuel tank. It's been sat for too long. Which is a shame, isn't it? Right now, as it was a gallon of V-Power that saved this car first time round when the fuel system wouldn't work. Let's see if a gallon of V-Power can do the same trick again. Okay, let's see if that gallon of petrol registered. Whoops, lean on the horn. Yep, showing nearly a quarter of a tank of petrol. Oh, maybe it only starts in park. I never thought of that. I was trying to start it in neutral before. This might be a thing. I can't hear the fuel pump. That's interesting. Can hear a relay click. I cannot hear the fuel pump priming. So this has just gone from a very quick pre-Christmas fiddle around in the garage, get everything done and have a video at Christmas Eve probably, to, oh, this is a bit of a nightmare, and taking the bottom of the car to pieces again type video, I think. Well, at least it cranks easy with the new battery in it. That's one positive to take away from this. Okay car, I'm going to leave you marinating in new V-Power and just see if, well, the thing about V-Power is it's got lots of clever cleaning agents in it, and having some of that circulating around the fuel system like it did before might actually free off some ingunction which has caused this to stop working. So yeah, we are currently a bit bamboozled. So we'll leave this alone for a bit. I'll disconnect the battery so it doesn't go flat in the meantime if that's got any power drain on it. Don't want anyone to drive it away. If only. Well, happy Christmas! There's been an enforced delay of about 4 days between the last scene a couple of seconds ago for you, but 4 days ago for me, because I had to go and spend Christmas at the in-laws, which was a thing that happened. So now we're back here again in the garage, and hopefully 4 days of marinating in V-Power super cleany petrol stuff might have cleared out any blockages, and fingers crossed exactly the same thing that happened last time will happen again. Before I do that though, I'm going to extend the faffage opportunities to these drawers, which are bothering me because all my socket or mini sockets and spanners are lurking in here and they need to not be, so I'm going to quickly tidy those up because that's just driving me mad. Right, time for a significant improvement in the organisation of everything. Things are now finally back where I can find them again, rather than a big pile by the door. I do know, of course, as soon as I do start trying to do any work out in the drive again, it's all going to be back out there, but at least today it looks nice. Now, the battery is reconnected to this thing, and maybe, just maybe, it'll not let me down right now. Fingers very much crossed. Why are you doing this to me, car? Oh, I can smell petrol here now. Right, so now instead of trying to do fixing welding or brakes, I'm going to go back into the old game of diagnosing why the car's not starting, which is very, very fun indeed. But at least I did just go and bring all my tools up to the centre of the garage, which makes life an awful lot easier, I guess. Is that the right size for one of these, I wonder? Oh, it is, that's handy. I'm smelling petrol. Even though I can't hear the fuel pump. God, that's tight. Even though I can't hear fuel pump, I'm sure we are getting fuel through, because that does stink of the stuff. Maybe not. Doesn't smell too petrol-y. Very black. Black. Black like the crows that peck at my soul. See if I can see a spark on that thing. On the old sparkulator. Well, I would say that was giving a jolly good spark in anyone's book, but sadly not fueling, because I can't really smell like regular petrol, and I've just pulled this plug out here and given it a quick clean up as well. It is also bone dry. So back where we were with the whole fueling issues with this car from like a year ago or whenever it was. So I don't know. Have we got gummed up petrol in the system? Have we got part of the distributor unit failed again? Because this is the old Bosch K-Jetronic mechanical metering fuel injection. It's a very clever system and generally it works fine. What I'm thinking though is that I can't hear the fuel pump, so I think maybe the fuel pump has gone bye-bye. And that's a relatively new fuel pump in all honesty, because I put it on there a little while ago, because obviously I was having trouble with getting the fuel system working. It lives, oh my god, I can't get down through here again. It lives underneath this wheel arch, which means it's basically impossible to get to at the moment. Okay, this is not the end of the video I was hoping for, although it is kind of the end of the video I was sort of anticipating, because I knew there'd be plenty of Christmas kerfuffleage. All the faffing has been faffed and it's gone from fun to flipping annoying, because I am fairly certain that that fuel pump has packed up, whether it's the wiring, which I very much doubt, or the relay, which I very much doubt. I think it's probably going to be the pump itself. I do have a spare one up here, because when they sent me this, I think it's from Power Spark, one of the terminals was broken off. They said, don't bother sending the one back, we'll just send you a new one. Being me, I just kept this one in the cupboard. So that has been up on the shelf ever since, so I can try fitting that one out when it's not tipping rain, because once again it's time to get underneath the car and jack it up and be outside. The weather is just absolutely appalling. It's tipping down like you wouldn't believe. The wind is crazy. It's really not a great day for jacking a car up and lying underneath it, which is what we have to do right now. So yeah, rain has once again stopped to play. I would love to be outside finishing the roof panels on the carport or finishing the coilovers on the MX-5, but none of those things are going to be happening when it's, you know, this horrible weather we've got at the moment. This isn't really where I'd hope to end this video, but I think we've got a conclusion that we need a new fuel pump again for it, which is annoying, but hopefully a doable item rather than a major issue. So I've got a game plan here. That's what I'm trying to say. We've got an idea of what to do. We'll switch out that fuel pump for that fuel pump when it's not tipping rain, and hopefully this thing can roll again without too much trouble, because there's so much to do on this car to make it run, and I really am looking forward to getting behind the wheel and actually taking this old W123 for a ride, because it's just a fantastic machine that needs to be driven at some point before very too long. I'm going to sign off and say I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you in videos before too very long. As always, like and subscribe. Even if you didn't like the video, just do it anyway, because it's a nice thing to do and it is Christmas. And next time I'm sure we'll get some more progress. Incidentally, if you're going to say why didn't I squirt some Easy Start into the inlet and try and fire it on that, it's because I haven't got any, because honestly I was not planning on needing any. Everything's been starting really well recently, so why would you need it? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye and Happy New Year, Happy Christmas.